So now I'm going to demonstrate a simple continuous skin closure pattern. Because I'm a right-handed surgeon, I'm going to suture from right to left. If you're a left-handed surgeon, you should suture from left to right. I'm going to use my thumb forceps. When we're working on skin, we want to avoid as much as possible reaching across and pinching the skin with the thumb forceps. So as we're working, you might see me gently press down on the skin with the thumb forceps. If you do handle it across, it needs to be very gently, otherwise you leave a pattern of bruising around the incision. So my first bite is going to be within about 5 millimeters of the end of the incision. I'm going to pass the needle down into the tissue about 5 millimeters back from the cut edge. My aim is to go just through the skin layer, and then I'm going to come up in the center and come on my near side about 5 millimeters back directly across from where my first stitch was. Now I'm ready to tie my first knot. So I'm going to tie 4 throws. This is nylon, so it's going to tighten on the second and third throws. So the first throw is going to be loose. And then I'm going to pull snug on the second and particularly on the third throw so that I have apposition of the 2 tissue edges. And then I'm going to cut my suture tails in the skin layer because I have to go back and remove this layer. I'm going to cut them at 1 to 2 centimeters in length, quite a bit longer than we do for something left in the body. After I've tied my initial knot, now I'm ready to continue with my pattern. I'm going to come about 5 to 8 millimeters down from the first stitch, and I'm going to take another stitch very similar to the first one. So pass through the skin, 5 millimeters back from the cut edge, and 5 millimeters up from the cut edge on the near side. I'm going to take 1 or 2 more stitches and then show you how to end the pattern. So you'll notice when I come straight across that my stitches on the top actually look angled. That's normal for this pattern. Again, each stitch I'm taking, I'm going to come directly across from the far side to the near side, and that's going to leave me with a diagonal stitch. When I'm ready to end my pattern, I'm going to go ahead and take my last stitch, so on the far side and on the near side. But instead of pulling this last loop all the way down, I'm going to choose to tie to this loop. So I'm going to keep the loop. Needle drivers go in between the two. And I'm going to have to be very careful not to pull the loop too tight, too early, or I will half hitch. So I'm going to make sure to get nice, good quality square throws, and I'm going to open the needle driver tips as I pull this tight. Like before, because it's nylon, it's going to loosen the first throw, but tighten on the second and third. And again, I want gentle apposition of the skin layers. I'm going to go ahead and tie, because it's not a holding layer and I'm tying to a loop, I'm going to go ahead and do 6 throws. And then when done, I'm going to cut my tails again to 1 to 2 centimeters in length, and that leaves me with a finished simple continuous.